right, let's talk about creating images with AI. Because for a lot of us, let's be honest, the whole process is kind of a mess. Today, we're going to dive into something called VisionForge, a tool that's not just another app. It's designed to completely reimagine that creative workflow from the ground up. So take a second, think about how you make AI images right now. Does it feel a little chaotic? A bit frustrating, maybe? Does it look anything like this? You know the drill. You've got like a million browser tabs open. Your computer sounds like it's about to take off because you don't have some $2,000 GPU. You're constantly jumping between different programs, one to make the image, another one to actually tweak it. And on top of all that, you're trying to decode these super confusing pricing models, all while your creative work is just sitting on someone else's server. It's a lot. Well, this is where VisionForge comes in. It tackles that whole mess head-on by doing something that sounds simple but is actually a huge deal. It unifies the two most important parts of the process, the generation and the editing. I mean, look at this. It's so clear, right? Most tools out there make you pick a side. You either get a generation tool or you get an editing tool. VisionForge just asks, hey, why not both? It's all about bringing generation and editing together in one smooth, single workflow. So what is VisionForge exactly? It's a desktop application, and that's a really important detail we'll come back to, that combines pro-level image generation with smart, intelligent editing. It's the whole shebang, all in one spot, right there on your computer. But, you know, just sticking two things together is only half the battle. VisionForge is also built to make all this power actually accessible, without all the usual headaches. Now this is a total game changer. So it's a native desktop app, which feels great and professional to use. But all the heavy-duty work, the actual number crunching to create the image, that happens in the cloud. And what does that mean for you? It means you get all this incredible AI power on pretty much any computer. No monster graphics card needed. And then we get to the cost. Oh, the cost. The philosophy here is just as simple. Forget about trying to calculate credits per pixel or weird subscription tiers. This is so refreshingly direct. The only number you need to remember is 1. That's it. Every single thing you do, whether it's generating a brand new beautiful image or doing a clever edit, costs exactly 1 credit. End of story. This chart really tells you everything. With other tools, you get these variable costs, weird tiers. It all leads to surprise charges. With VisionForge, it's totally transparent. It's simple, it's fair, and you always know exactly what you're spending. No surprises. Okay, so it's powerful and it's simple to get into, but what about for the professional creators out there? You know, the people who need real control, who care about privacy, and want a truly polished workflow. This one is huge, seriously. Unlike all those web-based tools where your images just live out there on their servers, VisionForge is a desktop app. Your private keys are encrypted, and your work, your art, it stays local. It stays on your machine. You're the one in control of your own data. And just being a desktop app brings all these amazing little quality of life wins. You can finally close all those browser tabs. You get real file management. You can drag and drop, save things where you want them. And you get to use keyboard shortcuts just like you would in any other pro creative app. It just feels right. And it goes even deeper. You get that fine-tuned professional control. You can tweak the CFG scale to tell the AI exactly how much to stick to your prompt. You can manage the inference steps to find that perfect balance between speed and quality. You can even pick different samplers to get different artistic vibes. All of this while getting a live status update, so you're never just staring at a loading bar wondering what's happening. So, when you put all of these pieces together, you start to see that VisionForge is really just designed to be the answer. It solves all those annoying but what about problems that always seem to pop up with other AI tools. But I don't have a super powerful GPU? Nope, not a problem. VisionForge uses cloud processing, so it'll run on pretty much anything. Or, but I want to generate my images and edit them in the same app. Yep, that's literally its whole purpose. It's built for that from the ground up. But what about privacy? I want my files to stay local. You got it. Because it's a desktop app, VisionForge keeps all your images and your keys right there on your own computer. And the big one, but I am so sick of confusing pricing models. The answer couldn't be simpler or fairer. 1 credit, 1 image. Period. It just solves the problem by design. So, it all leads to this final and, I think, most important question. When you take away all the technical problems, all the workflow friction, and all the confusing costs, what does that unlock for you? What will you create when you finally have a truly unified workflow?
All right, if you're a 3D artist, you know the feeling. Some parts of the workflow just drag on forever. But what if you could take a process that eats up days of your life and shrink it down to just a few minutes? Well, in this explainer, we're going to show you exactly how that's possible.
And let's be real for a second. This quote, it just hits home, doesn't it? It's that sinking feeling you get after spending hours and hours setting up a texture bake, only to be greeted by ugly seams, weird artifacts, and just frustration. It's a universal pain point for so many of us, but believe me, it's one we're about to solve.
So, look at this. This is the core of what we're talking about. The old way is this constant battle, right? You're doing everything by hand, you're fighting with bad results, and you're losing entire days on just one asset. The new way? It's the complete opposite. It's automated, the results are pretty much perfect every time, and the whole thing takes minutes. This isn't just a small improvement, it's a total game changer.
Now, to really appreciate just how big of a deal this is, we first have to, look the monster in the eye. Let's take a closer look at what makes the traditional workflow such a nightmare.
Okay, let's name the culprits. First up, you've got that painfully slow manual retopology. I mean, literally drawing every single quad by hand. This almost always leads to messy topology, with n-gons and triangles all over the place that just wreck your shading. And then you get to the infamous texture baking process, which, let's face it, almost always leaves you with those dreaded seam artifacts and random black spots. It's just a minefield of technical problems that absolutely kills your creative flow.
But what if you could just skip all of that? This is where our solution comes into play. And it's not about one magic button, but actually two incredibly smart tools that work together to form a single, seamless pipeline. So, let's meet the heroes of our story.
First up, we have Quadify. Its job is so simple, but honestly, it's revolutionary. You can throw any mesh at it, no matter how chaotic, and it automatically spits out a clean, perfectly structured all-quad mesh. This one tool completely eliminates that whole manual retopology nightmare. It builds the perfect foundation for everything that comes next. And our second hero is Texture Bake with Cage. This tool tackles that other massive headache. It uses a really clever, automated cage system to perfectly project all those beautiful high-poly details onto your new low-poly mesh. And the best part? It does it without creating a single visible seam. All those baking errors you used to fight with, they just vanish.
Now here's the most important idea. Yeah, you could use these tools separately and they'd be great, but their true power is when you use them together. Quadify creates the perfect low-poly model, and then Texture Bake with Cage uses that perfect model to bake flawless textures. It's not just two tools, it's a complete A to Z automated pipeline.
So, what does this actually look like in practice? Let's walk through this new, ridiculously simple workflow.
It honestly boils down to this. 3 clicks, that's it. First, you click Quadify to generate your low-poly mesh. Second, you click Prepare, which automatically sets up all your UVs and materials. And third, you click Bake. Done. All the complicated, tedious, time-consuming steps are just handled for you behind the scenes.
And all of this builds to the most dramatic part of the story, the impact. We've been saying it's faster, but just how much faster are we really talking about here? This number, it says everything. We are talking about a time savings of over 99%. It sounds kind of crazy, I know, but when you automate tasks that used to take dozens of hours, the gains are just absolutely massive.
And here's the proof. Check out this breakdown. Traditionally, retopology alone could take you 10 to 30 hours. With this workflow, less than 2 minutes. Fixing baking seams could take another 5 hours. Now it takes 0. When you add it all up, a job that used to take anywhere from 14 to 40 hours is now done in about 2 to 8 minutes. The numbers just don't lie. It's staggering.
Okay, so what does saving all of this time actually mean for an artist? Because it's not just about being more efficient, right? It's about unlocking a completely new level of creative freedom.
So the key takeaways here are huge. You're getting production quality results every single time. You are completely getting rid of those frustrating seam artifacts that used to plague your work. And maybe most importantly, you are getting back dozens of hours for every asset you make. Time you can now spend on what actually matters, being creative, trying new ideas, and building more amazing worlds.
And that really brings us to the final and I think the most exciting question. When all those technical barriers that used to eat up all your time and energy are suddenly gone, the possibilities are just endless. So with a pipeline this fast and this reliable, what will you be inspired to create next?